Thursday night. That means Collecting Uncensored is going on over here. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me this evening. I've got a freaking awesome guest waiting in the back. Huge X-Men fan, hence the shirt right here. And just awesome stellar member of the comic book community. And his collection is freaking amazing. You'll see it in the backdrop all the time. He's got fantastic editing skills on top of that, and graphic design skills on top of that. Like, it's just full production stuff going on with this channel. He blew up really quick, and rightfully so. And I'm really excited and very grateful to be able to like hang out with him and have a chat with him about his collection tonight. So let's go ahead and let's bring out the man of the hour, Ryan the Colossus Collector. Let's get this pulled up. Need to do my job right.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Best dance move. Best dance. Y'all all have it when y'all come on here.
That's my dream. My dream is to dance like that.
That's great. How's it going, man?
Going great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's see. Well, we're here. We've got collecting stuff. So, the big question that I always ask is, you've got people who collect certain characters. You got people that do runs. You've got people that do covers. Like, all kinds of ways of collecting. And you can be more than one collector. Like, we've always talked about that as well. But the big question is, what kind of collector do you see yourself as? Especially right now in this, like, moment in time.
Yeah, it's funny. You kind of pre-prepped me with that question, and you had all the categories, and I was like, yeah. I'm a bit of a I'm like just sailing all over the ocean right now.
Nice.
And I love it. First and foremost, I'm definitely a key collector. Love my big books. I guess my I play in the Marvel world. I'm a Marvel collector first off. So yeah, big Marvel keys, first appearances, iconic books, all that stuff. I love that. I'm a run collector. I collect X-Men. I'm working on my 1 to 300 run of that. I'm working on a Silver Age Submariner run. I'm working on Adam Warlock run, kind of his early books, and then an Alpha Flight run. So I got a few runs on the go. X-Men obviously is the one I'm most serious and like really always hunting for the most. But all four are there. And then like I'm a reader. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest reader, but I'm trying to read more and more. I just started a pull list a few months ago, so I'm even into new stuff right now, and I'm trying to read. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm all in. I'm all in on it all. Yeah, and then I don't remember what the other one was, but I'm pretty sure I was that too. But cover collector. Yeah, and then I also buy lots of books that I just love the covers for. I love the art. I love the artists. So yeah, I'm all over the place, and I love it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Oh no. I don't think there's wrong with any of them. Like, and like I said, I think we're all a little bit of all of them at some some point in time in our lives or whatever as far as collecting goes. I do want to, because you were talking about you collect characters and you're collecting certain runs of those characters. It's not every day I come across somebody who's a Submariner fan. What is it about Submariner? I've got to know now. Like, what's your pull towards Submariner?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure, because it's not like I read it and I was like, oh yeah, Submariner is what a storyline. And I guess I just like, so I've told this story a few times, being on chats and stuff, but my genesis of like loving Marvel characters obviously goes back to when I was a kid. And I wasn't a big comic collector as a kid, but I loved cartoons and a little bit of
Yes.
the cards. Before I did collect comics for a little bit when I was a little older of a kid, but like as a young kid, X-Men animated series obviously was the big thing. But then I like to always talk about how I used to go to the movie store, video store, and rent these 1960s, 70s original Marvel cartoons that were
Yes.
they were basically like moving comics. Like the anime
Yes.
pretty wretched and primitive.
I
Like
loved them.
I think there's like a sticker on IG of Submariner going like, and that's like that's right from the cartoon. And yeah, I think I liked Submariner as a kid. Those like Submariner was cool. And there's something about like the underwater thing that I find cool. I it's just an interesting character. It's different, a different world. And then as I've collected it, I've grown to like it more for the run I collected. I love the art.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's almost like sci-fi in a lot of ways, only under the sea, right? And like
Yeah.
you can tell like the it's heavily influenced by like that 1960s like 50s aesthetic, like sci-fi aesthetic. A lot of the covers and stuff. Marie Severin was a big artist on those books during that run, and she did like just super underrated artwork, cover work on those. And yeah, and now I'm reading the new Namor. I got it like right here. I'm reading this new Namor series
Yes.
um, by Aaron. What's his first name? I forget his first name all of a sudden.
Jason?
Jason Aaron. Yeah,
How hold up, wait a second. How dare you?
forget his first name.
Yes.
I know I'm bad with names and numbers and like, yeah,
There's
pictures and
absolutely
stuff.
nobody else on YouTube that's gonna like have the reaction that I just did. I just do it because Jason Aaron's from Alabama, and that's where I'm
I
from.
know it. It's just I blank on it. You know what I mean? It's like I know it, but I blank on it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But
How
yeah,
is? I didn't even know he did that. How is that?
it's cool. It's it's feels like it's classic Namor. Like he's under. It's all under the sea. He's trying to build up his I guess his strength as a force because there's like an impending threat from above,
Uh
and
huh.
so and there's like a bit of a civil war going on under the sea. So he's like trying to reach out to these various leaders under the sea to like try and create a coalition type of thing. Anyways, it's only 3 issues in, and it's been great so far.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. See, I love like asshole Namor. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
my.
he's I mean, that's him. That's also
Yeah.
a pretty appealing thing about Submariner. Namor is a like he ain't taking no guff,
Right. Right.
and he'll give it though. He'll give it,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, he's just like a little full of himself. He's a royal, right? Grew
Yeah.
up as a royal. He's a prick, you know.
Yes, yes. That's the and I feel like Jason Aaron would write somebody really good as that. Like just reading some of his other works, like that whole, jerk type of character, I think he could do really, really well. So
Yeah.
I'm now super interested in that and I have to write it down and I have to go check this out. So thank you for the recommendation there. That's
Oh, my
freaking
pleasure. My
awesome.
pleasure.
Okay, so now I want to, because you also mentioned Adam Warlock. So now I want to know, how do you feel about Will Porter's portrayal in Guardians of the Galaxy of Adam Warlock?
So I don't understand why I like Adam Warlock because I know like next to nothing about him, really. Like he's the one character I collect that I just, for whatever reason, I love Jim Starlin.
Okay.
And Jim Starlin did a lot of work on Warlock. Some of his early books, I think I just really like the covers, and that's really where it
Okay.
started. It's
Yeah.
also a fun. It's like an interesting run because his genesis sort of started in. It starts in Fantastic Four, but
Mm-hmm.
then it's like his first full appearance is in Thor, and then he's got a couple issues of Marvel Premiere. Then he
Yeah.
jumps over and he starts his own book. It gets discontinued. Then he's in Hulk. Then he comes back for his own run again, but it only goes to like, I don't know, 15, 16 issues. So it's a really short run. It's not like it's an expensive run to collect, but it's still old and it's not super popular. I don't know. That's why
Yeah.
I like the chase of Warlock, and I do think he's cool. I do, but I'll self-admitted, totally honest. Like I don't know a ton about him outside of kind of surface level. So
Yeah.
the guy that's on my reading list, but I just have so much stuff to read. I just haven't got to it yet. I have the omnibus. It's ready to go, but I have to. I haven't read it yet.
And I think that's just part of collecting, honestly, because like I a lot of people know me because I'm a big Iron Man fan. Well, I didn't become a big Iron Man fan until Robert Downey Jr. hit the big screen. And it was his portrayal of Iron Man that really got me going. And I just did a top 5 reading list, and Iron Man is not in any of those. Like, no, none of those stories are Iron Man stories.
Mm.
But I just love the actual just character that is Iron Man. So I think it's things like that that kind of get shunned or pushed aside or overlooked, and it's like, no, you can just be appealed to a character just because it's cool looking cover or whatever.
Like him because he's got a lightning bolt on his chest. Like.
Yes.
But I love this cover. Like this was a cover that
Yes.
caught my eye that when I got back into the collecting, I was like, that is a cool book. I like black covers. I like the art. It's just a cool cover. And I just said I like that character. And I started collecting them. I actually bought a statue. It's on pre-order of Warlock that I'm really about because it's it's pretty cool from Sideshow. So yeah, I'm a Warlock fan, but I definitely I owe him some research so I could be a better informed fan of his.
Yeah.
And to go back to your question of Will Poulter playing him, I loved the idea of him coming in. I didn't like that he was like dumb. He got dumbed down big time, which is like, unfortunately, Marvel sometimes does that. Like they did that with Thor, especially that last movie. Although I love Ragnarok, but they kind of dumbed him down in that movie too, just to bring out more humor. But then they went too far with the next one, big time.
Yeah.
James Gunn definitely seemed to he threw him in, but he threw him in as kind of a dummy for comedy's sake. And I don't love the actor. I feel like they could have, I just wish they would have made him a badass, and got a badass actor to do him, and could have been done better. Same with Namor. I didn't love Namor in Wakanda Forever. He was okay, but I'm a little bit of a stickler for also just keeping it to it like it wasn't Atlantis and all that sort of thing. So I like that, but I get why they did it, and it's fine, but it's just not what I would have done. But that's the movie.
I wish
you take the good stuff and the bad stuff, and overall I love them. I love all the movies, so it's okay when things don't go exactly the way I want them to.
I wish they would have gotten Henry Cavill and actually done a serious Warlock. I think that would have been really badass.
You know what's so funny about Henry Cavill is he's fan casted in so many, people just throw him out all the time. He's like the Mr. I can do it all. He's he's Superman. He could be Warlock. Yeah. Oh, he could be Cyclops. I see Cyclops all the time. Yeah, because he's like built. He's like just this like chiseled man that looks like a literal superhero. Like,
Right?
yeah, yeah. Of course he could play a superhero.
Well, and he loves the medium too. Like,
and everybody loves him. That's the other thing because he's one of us. One of
yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But like I also wish that like I liked Namor in Wakanda Forever. That was probably like my favorite part of the whole movie. But I'm
It
with
was
you
my
on
favorite part. I just
but I'm with you that they didn't do Atlantis, and freaking, in my opinion, anyways, DC did Atlantis way better than Marvel did it.
the first
Like,
one. The first
yes,
Aquaman. The second Aquaman was,
no, I'm with you on that. Yeah, yeah,
but yeah. But again, you could even argue like, was Momoa your classic Aquaman? Right? I don't know. He doesn't really look. He's not a blonde guy with. I mean, at least they did the costume and stuff all legit, right?
right.
But Momoa was awesome as Aquaman. I thought so.
I enjoyed that. I guess what I was going with was I liked the look of Atlantis better than I did
I agree. Yeah,
of whatever it was called.
Talocan, I believe, is what they called it in
Tal-
Marvel.
what'd you say?
Talocan.
Yes, yes, Talocan. I like the look of it better. I like you know what I mean? Like, Talocan was so dark that I was just like,
Yeah,
I can't see where I'm going, so y'all need to put a filter on or something.
it was realistic, right? I guess is what
It
they were
was.
looking for, right? Because there's not a lot of light down there, but yeah, you would think though it would kind of like if they're supposed to be like this advanced society, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um they should have sort of like a little bit more going down there, but
Yeah.
I still thought it was cool. I love the action sequence with Namor.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it just wasn't what I would have done with them. But I also would have recasted T'Challa and not done what they did either.
100.
So
100%.
it is
Because they're
what
doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Like, just go ahead. Just do it. All right, let's transition a little bit here. I've railed us already. Like, we hadn't even been in this for like 17 minutes, and I've already
going. It's all
railroaded us. Let's check out the chat. We got lots of people that have showed up. We got the comic collector coach in the house. What's going on? Thank you for hanging out with us. Kenneth Bird as well. Appreciate you, sir. Mike with Lunch Money Comics says, good evening, fellas. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming out. Bruce up north Comics. What's going on, man? He says, what's going on, guys? Right? Here we go. Hey, Mike, Galactus is better than Thanos.
So,
and I noticed the shirt that you're wearing, so.
Yeah, that's a little debate that was going on out, on IG just the last hour or so. It was the elite, the top 5 Marvel villains. We don't need to go into that now, but yeah, I think that was a little inside comment there from Bruce.
That's funny. Here's my honey. Hey, honey, love you bunches. Let's see. Comic Collector Coach says he's a cover lover too. Hey, that's my wife. Like, my wife does not care nothing about comics, but she'll see a book and she'll be like, "Oh, that's pretty." And I know when I hear, "Ooh, that's pretty," like, I have to tuck that one away in like a special spot for just her. Like,
just got this one today.
Yes.
That's sick.
That is awesome. Who's the artist on that? Do you know?
I don't know. I literally went to the store to pick up my pull list and didn't have it ready, so they started pulling books out, and this is like X-Men 6, so they pulled this out and they're like, "Oh no, we need the regular one." I was like, "No, I'll take this one too, thanks."
That's funny. Let's see what we got. Cover lover, Bruce. Richard is in the house. What's going on, man? Thanks for hanging out this evening. Appreciate you. And then Nate with Hall, yeah, comics. What's going on, man? Appreciate you, appreciate you. Let's see. He said no, we don't. I'm not sure with which one that was, but let's. Cali Comics in the house. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. All right. So you said X-Men Collector as well, and then Alpha Flight. I assume Alpha Flight because you're from Canada. Is that a good assumption?
Kind of like a citizenship prerequisite if you're going to collect comics in Canada. Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. And it's kind of X-Men adjacent to, it's rooted in X-Men. That's where it started with Byrne and X-Men 120 and 121, Wolverine, former Alpha Flight guy. So yeah, it only makes sense for me to be into Alpha Flight. But again, the other one I gotta read. I haven't read it yet. I have the omnibus, but I'm still working my way through a few X-Men things before I get to those. So
Absolute Game of Nerds is in the house. Only able to join for a minute. Wanted to say hello and support my boy Colossus. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
That's awful nice. I wanted to grab that one just in case they left. So, I believe one of your goals at one point in time was to get a Alpha Flight #1, but the Canadian price variant. Did you ever get that?
I just so happen to have that right here.
Nice. Yeah, and a 9.6. That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. It's it's the most Canadian book you could get, I think, outside of like something that was fully printed and published here that I don't know about, but like that is pure Canadiana right there.
Would that be what about Captain Canuck?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could. I don't know much about him, but
I don't know
yeah, I guess that could qualify as well. That's on the Mount Rushmore of Canadian comics.
Right. Oh, that's funny. So I love Alpha Flight because of Puck, and it goes back to like jerk characters, and so like that's why I love it. I had that book.
That's his first appearance right there.
Right. Exactly. Nate says it is definitely the most Canadian Marvel book. Nice.
Yeah.
One Shot Comics in the house. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. All right, man. Well, I assume you've got a stack of books you'd like to show off, and
I got plenty. We can go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, let's do it.
Lead
me, White Rabbit.
I just tried to bring a bunch of different stuff. Not all X-Men. So we were talking about Submariner. This is my favorite Submariner.
Yes.
That first appearance of Stingray, who actually just made an appearance in that new run in the most recent issue. But I just like the colors. I just like the water, the way that, I don't know, just something about this cover I love.
Oh, it's definitely a cool cover. I actually had that book at one time and sold it, and I kicked myself. And I don't even know why. Like, I don't want to get the run. Like, it's just the fact that I had it, and I'm like...
Sometimes we move on from a book, and then we're like, oh, wait a second. I kind of actually really want that book. And we go and buy it again.
Yeah.
I brought a couple of
cool.
books. Just because, like, I just want to shine a light on the covers on this run are just phenomenal. Like, just it's a lot of Marie Severin. I believe both of these are her, but I'd have to go and double check. But like, I just love the, like, on this one, just the perspective of it and how vast, and yeah, there's something about the underwater world that's just kind of really cool. I know Lettuce probably hates this. Like, I know he's not watching, but if you're watching on the rerun, don't worry. There's only one or two more left.
I love the background of that. It looks so, like, some people will like just kind of half-ass a background, but those are like legit backgrounds, and it looks complete. Yeah,
like the whole like cityscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so well done. Love it.
Do you think she got shunned to do a book like that because she was a woman? And do you think maybe that doesn't? Do you think it's the character, of Namor that really doesn't like help out with that?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely obviously not their most highest selling character and title over the years, but I mean, it it's a I'll say this: it's a very historically significant character to Marvel. It's one of their
Right?
original superheroes that goes back to the golden age, right?
Yeah.
Him and Cap. I mean, the Human Torch was there too, but it was a different Human Torch. But
Right.
Submariner and Cap are like the two characters that really survived all the way to now.
Right.
And like Namor has an active book right now. So it's a pretty incredible history to that character. So I mean, I don't know what the inner politics were. I'm sure, given it was the late 60s, there was
Right.
probably some sexism going on at the offices of Marvel, like every other corporation in America. But she was obviously an incredible artist. So they gave her at least a historically significant book to work on, right? So,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
mean, Marvel was a pretty progressive company if you think about it too. So, she was the artist on her own run, so that's pretty significant too.
Yeah.
Uh, what else? What else? I brought this. This is one of my favorite covers, and I brought this specifically for you because you, sir,
Yes.
Iron Man fan. This is my favorite Doom cover. Well, I don't know, maybe not. It's so good though.
It is
I
good.
love I love black face-off covers too. There's like a lot of them during the kind of Bronze era, and this is probably my favorite one. A lot of ones with Thing too, Submariner,
Yeah.
Hulk, but this one's just incredible. Got it at a really nice grade. Love that
Uh,
book.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was gonna say like the black covers for that time period like make all the other colors pop.
So
Like the
good. Yeah.
Marvel premiere that you were showing earlier with Warlock on it, and then that cover there. Like there's the Namor versus Thing cover. I think you said something about that.
Yep.
Like, and I think
The Hulk
there's
versus
Hulk.
Thing one. Yeah.
Yes.
There's I even think of that. I think it's a Daredevil cover where Daredevil and Cap are kind of facing off in like a boxing ring type thing. That's black, beautiful. Like there's a lot from that era that were just gorgeous, gorgeous books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing I'm an enthusiast for outside of comics is I like a good cigar, and
Yes.
so when I started collecting comics, I started thinking, oh, I wonder if there's any like good covers with characters smoking cigars, and there happens to be a few, and I just sort of created a little sub collection of covers with cigars on them. This one's my favorite
Nice. I like that. I like
thing.
that a lot.
Johnny from Your Best Pal Benjamin. Love that one. Wolverine, obviously, quite a few with
Oh
him
yeah.
smoking. Love that one.
I've never seen that one. That's cool. I like the colors of that.
Yeah, it's I just love how prominent the smoking is. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
This is another one, a little bit more silhouetted, but same run, so same Marvel Comics Presents run with Wolverine. Then I got this Daredevil one. We got the Kingpin off in the.
Oh, and he's got yeah.
This is a minor key too. I should write it down. There's something significant about this, but I can't quite recall now.
Is that part of the Born Again storyline?
I don't know. I'm not a big Daredevil guy, so I'm
Hmm.
sure someone in the chat might enlighten us. And then that's another
Oh
one.
wow. That looks like a super 90s Wolverine.
Yeah, or late '80s. Liefeld.
Look at those
Yeah,
blades. That's a light. Is that a light field cover?
yeah,
That is, isn't it?
yeah, right there.
Look at that. That's cool.
But it's still old Marvel trade dress, so
Yeah.
it's probably late 80s, early Liefeld. Um,
We we got Bryant from I Have Comic Issues in the house. What's going on, Bryant? Appreciate you
oh,
coming out. Collector Coach says Daredevil 43 with the black cover, I assume. Richard says there's some Wolverine, has some good ones. Callie, love it. That's the crap I do too, is just start collecting a type of book or cover. That's how you end up with 3 short boxes of Santa comics.
I actually love. I should. That's something I'd be into because I love Christmas. So I got a couple holiday books, but I haven't chased that enough. But yeah, now see, I'm inspired. Um, so I'm also, I love Silver Age. And Jack Kirby, he's the king. So brought a few Kirby
Yes.
classics. This I just love this. Like,
That's cool.
colors on this book are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The green in the background is amazing. Just absolutely love this book.
I've never seen that. Like, that's super cool.
One of my favorite FF books for sure. Just purely off the cover.
And I
Kirby.
like the stance on the thing too. Like, it's not a normal,
Yeah.
just bulky
Powerful.
guy.
He's like throwing an overhead left or right. I should
Right.
right. Sorry, I don't know. And yeah, it's just like, but the green, it's something about this green background is like, and makes him pop, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
so nice.
No, that's super awesome.
I got a couple,
Oh, nice.
First in Humans, nice little key there. Then I got First Atuma. So this is pretty early, 33.
Yeah.
Old, even has the old corner box there. So
Is
it's
that his first cover too? Is that not him on the cover as well?
yeah, this is a
Okay.
Atuma right area, but
Yeah.
that's his first appearance.
I
And it's
hate those rabbit ears.
a little weird. They are. It certainly looks like rabbit ears. I don't know what Kirby was thinking or was going for that, but yeah, it's also got that like kind of that interesting '60s like photocopy background. Did that on a bunch of books. It's like coral reef cave thing that they got going on there.
I was gonna say I love it when they do that because it makes all the color stuff just pop off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this one's not the brightest of colors, but yeah, it certainly helps with them. Just some more Silver Age covers.
Oh, nice.
So I just pure cover. This is just pure cover joy right here. It's so cool, so psychedelic. Eternity, and then yeah. Speaking of those photocopy backers, why
Right?
draw the city when you could just cut and paste a black and white image on it?
That's funny.
Yeah, Steranko.
That's such a cool character to like do in comic books. Infinity and Eternity, and just it's a void, but it's like all of space and time. Like it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's it the just how the face is always just like slightly there.
Yeah.
Kind of such a cool idea for the character. I'm a '90s kid. Love Venom. Just that was
Yes.
he was like the one. Him and Wolverine were the characters of the '90s. So I got a few nice
Nice.
Larson Venom covers. Goes well with that one.
Yes. That is awesome.
And then this is the my best Venom book right there.
Oh, nice. Do you consider that? Is it that one that's like the possible first cover appearance of Venom, or
Well,
do you
this
consider the circle one, like this, where it's like the head and the
one where his
circle?
little head there. I mean,
Yeah.
I, what does this say? This says this doesn't acknowledge that it's the first cover appearance, but this is the money book for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess technically the other one is the first cover appearance, but this is also called the first full cover appearance. So, um, but I mean, as far as like the big Venom keys go, obviously 300's the big one. 299 is technically what McFarlane calls the first appearance. I do have that one. It's a 92. But then this is the next one after 300, in my opinion, of like the big keys.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to have that whole all his like big 90s keys in 9/8. So
Okay.
299, 300, this one, and then Lethal Protector, and then ASM 350, that gold foil cover. So I have the
Yeah.
I have the Lethal Protector and the gold cover in 9/8. I have this in 9/8. I have Carnage in 9/8, and then just 300's the one I don't have, and then I need an upgrade on the 9/2.
Nice. Callie says there is a awesome Amazing Spider-Man 316 pop. So I don't know if you're into pops or not. But.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big pop guy, but I mean, I would probably like it if I had it.
Let's see. Mr. Akins is in the building. Did someone say Colossus Collector? It was my wife.
I'm apparently her favorite YouTuber in the comic space, so.
Yes, yes.
Which is super flattering.
Right. That's funny. Callie says, I do not like any of the photo covers. The Neil Adams Superman is okay, but they look so damn weird to me. I like how they pop. I like it.
It's it's a fun way to add, background without having to draw the whole thing.
AI before there was AI. Callie.
Great when you're on a deadline, right?
Right. Callie, I think the photo covers are cool for the time they came from. They were trying something, even if it didn't work. It represents it's representative of the time. Quit using. Hey, we got to get rid of these big words. All right, we can't be doing that right now.
What is this? Dictionary hour or what?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Larry is in the house. What's going on, Larry? Appreciate you coming out. I can get with that haul. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So, more fun books.
Yes.
Little Iron Fist, first Sabretooth.
Holy crap!
I like that one.
That's a good one. Yeah, just a fun X-Men villain key. Love this book, Sabretooth. I love the cover on this. Like this is one of my favorite villain keys, just because the cover art's so fun and like the color is great. I just really like the composition of it.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the better first cover appearances, like him being in action and fighting a hero and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I find it weird. It still baffles me today how big of an X-Men villain and Wolverine villain he is. However, he showed up in an Iron Fist book. Like, that still baffles me. And, like, it wasn't even his first appearance. It was his first, second, and, like, third appearances were in that Iron Fist run. And Power Man, sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes characters navigate into different books and then they become synonymous with that title, that storyline, that kind of world. X-Men has a few of those, like Silver Samurai's one where that kind of migrated from Daredevil or
it was Daredevil.
Yeah, was it Daredevil? Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of those. There's a new character that is in the new X-Force book called Tank. And he's like brand new to the X-Men world. Like I've never come across him before, and he's he started off. I can't remember off the top of my head now where he was first debuted, but it was another title. I looked into the character because I thought maybe he could be Colossus in disguise, because Colossus is like nowhere to be seen
Yeah.
in the new X-Men storyline since Krakoa, and I'm just waiting for him to come out of whatever hole they've buried him in. They did at the end of X-Men 4, Ileana's like one of the main characters of that team in that book. And at the very end, she's playing chess, I guess remotely, and there's a Colossus's hand, so she's playing Colossus. So I at least know he's alive and he's like playing chess. But now I'm waiting for him to be revealed. It was some kind of tease, so I'm guessing he's gonna pop up somewhere eventually.
Maybe they'll make him a villain.
They've already done that.
Have they done that?
What they need to do is they need to give him an amazing, just like heroic arc where he just like they give his character a ton more depth and story and just like build him up more, because like he's just been heavily underutilized and like and like just dogged a lot. Like I didn't read Krakoa. It's something I want to read, but from everything I've heard, like he was basically mind controlled for however long, year plus of that storyline.
God, I hate that.
So everything he did was always like it was being controlled by a villain. He did a lot of bad stuff apparently. So yeah, and he's been a villain. He was an acolyte of Magneto in the 90s, and
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
So since we're talking about your boy here, I've had people on that are Spider-Man fans. I've had people on that are Superman fans, Batman, of course. But Colossus, now that's another odd one. So like, what's the deal with Colossus? What's got you? Why is he your guy?
Yeah, so I guess that kind of comes from the game Over My Shoulder right there.
Oh, that was a good game.
I mean, I've been asked that many times. My first exposure to him was that game. I loved playing that when I was a kid. A local arcade had the big like 6-player double screen behemoth machine that it was in the 90s, and I could play with a bunch of friends. And Colossus was like the best character. He had the best like mutant superpower, which is nothing to do with what he actually does in comics. But it was awesome in the game. Killed lots of guys. Had the best range of attack for killing off the Sentinels and all the different bad guys on that game. And I just like, I've always kind of gravitated to like bigger characters, strong characters, and Colossus would, tick those boxes. Plus, like, he was made of metal. Like, I thought that was super cool, and like nothing could like really hurt him in his metal form. Super durable, and he'd take on like all the strongest villains, like Juggernaut and stuff. So,
Yeah,
I just always liked Colossus, and it just sort of, that seed was planted from the game, and then over time, I always thought, oh, that's my favorite X-Men. And as I got older, I mean, honestly, like I hadn't really learned a lot about him until I got into really collecting and reading and stuff. But he was just always kind of my favorite character.
Nice. Have you thought about the characters that you could play in that, and like just how oddball that like those characters were? Because it was Colossus
In the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the game the Konami game is actually based off of the X-Men, the original X-Men animated pilot. So
Yes.
before the 90s like Fox Kids X-Men animated series, they tried to launch like I guess late 80s an X-Men animated series with a
Yep.
more traditional team, kind of more of a Claremont era team. It was Colossus, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, I'm blanking, Storm, and then Dazzler for some random reason.
Yes.
Dazzler, and then Kitty was kind of like kind of almost like the Jubilee character from the
Yeah.
series, kind of young, not really not understanding her powers and all that sort of thing. Professor X, of course, and the pilot failed pretty miserably. Wolverine was Australian. um, yeah, so it's online. You can watch. You can watch the whole pilot on YouTube, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that game it's the same roster, and I think they developed that based off of that cartoon that never went anywhere. But then the game, they made all the games, so they launched the games, and the game was popular, despite the fact that the cartoon didn't really take off.
Yeah. Because even like Cyclops' outfit is like the older Cyclops outfit with the full
Hood.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just find it like Colossus was in there. Like Nightcrawler's also not like a bit like he's got a following, but it's not like a Wolverine or even a Cyclops or a Havoc or something like that. And then Dazzler, of course. Like I feel like Dazzler really didn't get popular until like Tay-Tay's name got involved in it, and then everybody was like, "Oh my god, I'm a Dazzler fan!" And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
calm
guess
down.
if you think about it, like Dazzler was actually somewhat popular through the 80s because she just was like of the 80s, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pop starry kind of disco-y. That's where she started, and then kind of moved into the 80s. She had the short hair with the tights and the headband. Like she was just super 80s. Um,
Right.
and so they probably just thought she would be like popular on the show because she appealed to the times. And she was I don't know exactly how the dates line up with the cartoon, that first pilot, and where it was in the comics, but like Dazzler was probably still on the team, if not just they were just moving out of that team. um but yeah, this is kind of before, I think it really kind of predates also like the Jim Lee and Liefeld era of
Yes.
Marvel, where I think really like Wolverine really picked up, or like took off. Cyclops was over on X Factor prior to the Jim Lee run, and then like that next animated series that really took off, that was right like a year after X-Men Adjectiveless X-Men 1 launched, the Jim Lee
Yeah.
run, the 11 issue run. Um, and that's like when X-Men like popped like big time right at that early part of the 90s in terms of like pop culture and like being super popular. Like X-Men obviously has always been popular as a comic book prior to that, but
Right.
that's where it kind of like transcended a little bit more and got really popular with the animation.
I was gonna say it's like that's when it hit pop culture and
Yeah,
actually like
yeah.
took the
And just
ride.
like kids went crazy and like everybody loved X-Men as in the 90s. Yeah.
Right. I think that what was it? I can't remember the name of that pilot, but it's something Pride, and it's
Yeah, it's
spelled
Pride of
like
the X-Men.
Kitty's last name.
Yeah, it's Pride of the X-Men, I believe. That's what it's called.
Yes. That's it. And it's got very much a. I think it would actually do well nowadays because it has very much a anime style compared
It did
to
kind of have an
the
anime.
'90s.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely had a bit of an anime style. It reminds me a little bit of like Dragon Ball Z ish,
Yeah,
or I don't know, maybe like a
Speed Racer.
Sailor Moon, Speed Racer, yeah, like those kind of stuff. Those kind of shows. Not like it's not all the way anime, but it definitely has some anime aesthetic to it for sure.
Silverhawks.
Yeah, yeah,
Voltron.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like that newer style, that 80s style of anime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Richard says Colossus' popularity is a huge accomplishment for the writer of Marvel, introducing a Soviet hero during the Cold War. You know, that's a good point. Like that really is a good point.
He wasn't. Yeah, he's from the Soviet Union and Russia, but like obviously he wasn't a flag waving
right
communist or anything. Like it was more kind of he went against it and came to America and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
I got so mad at the movie theaters at X2 because like the raid scene where they're trying to get like Rogue and Logan and all of them are trying to get the kids out and stuff like that, and Colossus like and I was like, yes, let's fucking go.
Outside of the Nightcrawler part was like the best.
Yes,
part was when Colossus goes blah, blah, blah,
blah. And then he's like, I want to come with you, and they're like, no, you go, and I'm like, no, he wants to go.
For this movie, you're too cool. No, you know what that was? I'll tell you what that was. That was, no, you cost too much money to animate.
Right.
Let's call a spade a spade. Like that animation probably took too much time and cost too much money, and they didn't want to do it.
100, absolutely. I do feel like they did him right though, even though he got torn to pieces in Days of Future Past. I love his montage that he had when he was fighting and going through all like I love Blink because of that, and like it's all
That's actually my favorite X-Men movie. Because
it's a good one.
I just like the merging of the two casts. I like the inclusion of a lot of cool characters in the future. I mean, obviously it's not comic accurate, but I really appreciated the movie. And Colossus is cool at the beginning. I mean, I will say the best Colossus that's been done is the Deadpool films.
Oh yeah,
movie. That fight scene with Juggernaut is like, that's what I live on in terms of live action Colossus. Like that's an amazing moment in my life, was seeing that. When he just turns, it's like, here comes a big CG fight. It's just like, oh my god, I love that. I in terms of like the aesthetic of him and like the way he looks and stuff, I like the Deadpool Colossus, but I did for the time really like what they did with him in Days of Future Past. I just wish they did more, but
right.
It was cool. I just liked all of the stuff, like Iceman and Sunspot, like all that stuff was really cool.
Yes.
When the Sentinels come and they're trying to fight them off and stuff, that was pretty cool.
I hated the Sentinels. That aggravated me. I hated them.
You're supposed to hate the Sentinels.
No, I hate the way they looked.
Oh yeah, well they're kind of futuristic, so I didn't give it. I just felt like, oh okay, they're future Sentinels, and then they did the old Sentinels, which were a little bit more comic, like not accurate but closer. But I'm longing for the day that they give us the animated series, like the Sentinels that we know and love. That's going to be
yes,
it will happen at some point. But
I wish they'd gone with Nimrod instead.
In Days of Future Past?
Yes.
Yeah, they could have done that. Yeah.
I wish they would have gone with, like, they could have called them Sentinels. I just wish they would have gone with the Nimrod style and look. I feel like that would have been better, in my opinion.
Cool. But I mean, Fox just never stuck to comic stuff. Like they always just like do it this way. You know, like I don't know. I honestly like I don't know what goes through movie execs and studios' heads sometimes. Marvel's obviously done it much better, way more comic accurate. Like you can still have creative license with things. You don't have to do it exactly, but like there's a whole world and universe and story that's been given to the world, and to just like throw like 80% of it out, like it just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, things have to be adapted for on screen and film, and
right,
live action. But yeah, I just try to stick to the beautiful things that have been made.
Yeah, the staples.
Yeah.
We got a question here from Nate. He says, "Is Ryan's arcade cabinet an original or a one-up? Either is freaking amazing."
It's a one-up. Yeah. No, I my dream is to have an original. But like if and ever I do that, it's got to be like the double. It's got to be like the six joystick, 6-player screen, old school like Behemoth. But I don't know where I would put that at this point. Like, plus they're kind of ghosts. Like you'd have to really hunt for one of those. And I'd probably get it if I could afford it, get it completely redone so that like all the electronics inside are updated. You can get that done with like vintage machines. Like they can update the screens and update the electronics and the wires and stuff so that it works better and lasts longer. But it'll still like obviously be an old machine.
Yeah.
Feel right, but I'd probably get that done because those screens were like pretty bad.
Right. You could build one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can go to guys and they'll literally like put in new screens and like rewire the inside, but you'll get like the full cabinet and the joystick. What I don't know what's that called? Like the
gamepad?
The gamepad? Yeah. That's all.
Oh no, what I'm saying is like you could have one built from like scratch.
Oh,
just have it look like.
But I'm a little bit more of a like the nostalgia would be to have at least the original cabinet.
Oh yeah.
Cabinet.
Dazzler was in there because she's amazing, Ryan. That's the damn reason.
I never said she wasn't amazing. I'm just saying she was of the time.
Yeah. No, I got you. Dagger Cards is in the house. What's going on, Dagger? Appreciate you coming out. He put too many shrimps on the Barbie with his claws. Nice.
Oh, man. He was so Australian. He was like...
Neptune. Appreciate you coming out. What did he say?
Oh, he didn't like Kitty being around in the cartoon. He's like, "She's this arcade," and he's like clanging his claws and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I don't do a good Australian accent, but
she's just a kid.
She's just a kid.
Beck Neptune, thank you for coming hanging out. Appreciate you. Dazzler is pretty dazzling. Huh? Nobody dazzles like she does. That's great. Pizza Rat collects in the house. What's going on, sir? Appreciate you. Is that Richard from the Comically Comics podcast? No, it is not. This is Ryan from Colossus Collector on YouTube. But he does. You kind of resemble Richard a little bit. Let's see. Dope Comics in the house. What's going on, Dope? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. All they gotta do is hang out at an LCS. I can see that. YouTube super fan. Oh, that Richard. There we go.
In all streams at all times. Is his
Christina Payne in the house. What's going on, Christina? Appreciate you hanging out. Richard says, "Okay, guys, you guys got kidnapped. You don't know who. Make a team of 5 X-Men to rescue you." Oh, wow. Do you want to entertain this one, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I love these.
All right, you're who are we kidnapped by?
All right, so kidnapping. Obviously, I would say Colossus on my team, but I'm not going to say him first because the most obvious guy you got to get on a team on a retrieval team is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is your guy on a retrieval team. Now,
okay.
this is my approach to the question. I'm talking about this is a retrieval X-Men team, not
Okay.
my elite best 5 X-Men. So Nightcrawler for sure.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna have Colossus just so he can handle any like rough stuff, any bad guys, you know, or he could be a human shield, whatever you need for him.
I like it.
He's your guy. So Colossus, Nightcrawler. I'm gonna throw Quicksilver in there. Quicksilver is the guy, another guy that you would want in a retrieval process. Then I'm gonna get Kitty Pryde. She can walk through walls. Another important X-Men for a retrieval. And then I'm gonna take Storm because she is a natural leader. She can do a really great game plan, and she can cover your escape in a fog, a mist, or weather. That's my 5 to rescue me from whoever's kidnapped me.
You did that too damn quick. I feel like you've thought about this more than once.
I know my X-Men. No, that was all. I've never put together a kidnap retrieval X-Men team.
I agree with Nate. Your team is on point. However, I am going to replace. Who am I going to replace though? I'm going to replace Kitty Pryde with Wolverine.
That is a very good point, and I know exactly where you're going with it. But I'm going to let you paint this picture.
The reason why is because I think that anything that Kitty could walk through, Colossus could break down. And I also, I don't know if the X-Men know where I'm at. And so I need somebody to track me where I'm down.
That's the one I was waiting for. Elite tracking. Wolverine's tracking and senses and smelling. Yeah, that's a very good point. I would probably put Wolverine on my team now that I've thought about it a little bit longer. Okay. I don't know what to replace, though. Maybe Quicksilver.
Okay.
I'd replace Quicksilver with Wolverine. Because Kitty's just Kitty can pull you through a wall. I know Colossus can knock a wall down, but if you gotta slip away, she's stealth, right? And so is Nightcrawler. So I like the 2 stealth elements, but then you got a bruiser with you.
Right.
In case. And you could go with a rogue over a Colossus and have someone who can fly, but I've already got the flight with Storm, and Storm can create updrafts that could just fly everybody out of a situation as well. So that's my team. That's my team.
Yeah. When I was gonna say, even with if you had to slip out with discretion, Quicksilver in there could get you out, probably no problem. We've seen him get Magneto out of maximum security, cells and all that other jazz.
Quicksilver is he's gonna put me through G-force, which would be really uncomfortable, and then I'm gonna lose my lunch, right? So I feel like I don't know which would be more jarring, being teleported by Nightcrawler or being G-forced by Quicksilver. Either feel probably not fun, but yeah.
How are you at smelling sulfur?
I could deal with sulfur. I love this medical stuff. This is hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder if Pietro could actually get Colossus out. You know what I mean? I wonder if Quicksilver could actually I guess he would have to change into his non-metal form to be able to get him out.
I mean, I don't know. If we're talking about Fox Studios Quicksilver, all you got to do is you got to get Colossus to jump, and then he goes into that everything's moving in slow motion thing, and then Colossus could just push him through mid-air, and then turn him and land him, and then you're out.
Quicksilver could push him and yeah. I got you.
You can even push him through walls at that speed. And Colossus could literally be like a battering ram, like boom, 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 and then just like and then Nightcrawler just like group hugs the rest of them, and he's got a clear shot across the yard to where the Blackbird is, and he just like teleports everybody over to the Blackbird, and everybody's gone, done, in and out, 10 seconds.
And the whole time you're doing it in like somewhat fog, because Storm has put a fog over everything. So
or like the fog sets in as soon as Nightcrawler gets you across the field to the Blackbird.
Well, so it doesn't even have to do it that way, because there'll be a straight line through the fog with Quicksilver.
But Nightcrawler needs to know where the Blackbird is so that he doesn't like teleport you into the wing, and then you're like severed in half or something like that.
No, right. But I'm just saying, like, there'd be a clear line of where Quicksilver went through with Colossus. You know what I mean? Of where the fog separated.
You would kind of like Moses the fog a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Oh,
exactly.
Man, this is the highest level of thought that could move over Cyclops and Storm. 22 and Colossus Collector are taking over battle plans.
Oh man, if only I put this much work into my job, I'd do so much better. That's great.
You're brilliant. We're promoting you. We're promoting you right now.
I'm putting Dazzler in place of Storm, but we all write our own fanfic.
Hey man, so it's your story, like you said. So,
but we're just letting you know you failed your escape.
You could put in Beak if you want, man. Like.
Oh, that's great. Mad Spidey, speaking of Australians, there he is right there. What's going on, homie? Thanks for coming out. Says, drop it in for a quick load, gents. Appreciate you, sir. Let's see what Nate has to say. I have to crash, but I will watch the rest tomorrow a.m. Much love. Hey, appreciate you, Nate. Thanks for coming out, man. Cool. You got any more books there, man?
I sure do.
Yes.
I got the big
We'll get
one.
back on track. Oh! You threw me off. Hold on.
Holy crap!
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good one. First Thanos, first Star Fox, first Blood Brothers.
Yep.
First Drax and first Kronos. Yeah, this is a good one.
What made you get that?
This little voice in my head that says, "Who needs to save when you could buy the first appearance of Thanos at a price that will be not worth it in a year?" That's why. And it's awesome.
It is awesome. It is absolutely awesome.
I love this book. It needs a new slab, but no rush for that. And yeah, it's just I'm kind of like, I've become in the last year a little bit of a grade snob, which is funny because I just bought a 1.8 in a certain book. But I'm kind of like, I made a decision earlier in the year that I think I'm eventually, like, this isn't like an overnight thing, but eventually what I want is I want my collection, anything bronze in a key, like that book, I want it to be 7.5 or more. If it's a bronze.
Yeah.
That's just a bar I want to set for it. If it's silver, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient on that.
Yeah.
But then even then it depends. So I got this one.
Oh, nice.
So that's the first one in my run. I love this cover. It's
a good cover. It's a nice
this
cover.
It's a tricky book because the blues really fade.
Yeah.
That blue background fades in a lot of copies. Yeah, it's a John Buscema cover. But yeah, the blue's pretty good on this one. Colors are really good. And seven, so like this is another like little mini thing I'm hunting is the big premiere issues. And I decided I want all the big premiere issues to be a 7.5, but like literally a 7.5. I want all of them to be 7.5. So I already had Cap 100, but it was like a 4 or 5 or something like that. So I sold it and put it in my X-Men 1 fund because it wasn't good enough.
Get that shit out of here. We need something better to go.
This one hurts me because I love
nice.
This, but it's a 7.0 and it's not good enough. So so I got to get the 7.5 to match, but maybe, just maybe, I could. I mean, it was clean and pressed, but maybe I could bump it. We'll see. Because it's in that range, right? So the whites like are really nice on that, and I mean, I'll tell you this too. Like, I don't have a ton of Iron Man books, but I am a big Iron Man fan. So in the future, I'm definitely probably going to collect more. And I'm really looking forward to getting an Iron Man 1. That was a goal of mine last year that I didn't land because I switched it. I had 6 books big books I was chasing last year, and I had an opportunity to get a X-Men 94.
Yeah.
So, I'll get the 94 instead of the Iron Man 1. So I still have this like desire to get my Iron Man 1 because I really love that cover. It's a
weird cover.
It is.
Not that one.
I love it. No, this one is
That's awesome.
Yeah. So funny story with this one is I don't know if you know do you know Stepo or Collecto 6?
Yeah.
So he's so often on comic collector geek Alan's channel, and he's like got one of the most incredible collections like of all time. And I was actually on a Biggie Shaq show or stream one time, and he pulled out this book in a 9.6.
Oh, and shit.
I had never seen it before, and it was so clean and so like perfect. It was like perfect. I was obsessed with it ever since then. For whatever reason, like I love the cover. I love obviously Submariner. I love the fire versus water angle. I just love the cleanness. I love the age. Like this is like very, very early Marvel.
Yeah.
Like before even corner boxes and stuff. Like I really love this book, but I was so obsessed with that high grade. I ended up finding this in a heritage auction, and I was just like, it's not a 9.6, but man, is that a nice looking copy. And I ended up getting it for like a really good price on heritage auction, like way under FMB at the start of this year. And so I love this book. It's just got a special obsession in my heart.
Have you looked at the census of that book? Like, do you know how many books are like ahead or 9.6 of that?
I did it. I did one. Did I look at the census? I don't know. Now I can't remember. I definitely looked into some stats. It's not like there's not like a lot of them. It's not because it's not really. It's not a key. It's just like a well-regarded cover. So, but yeah. So there's not like a ton of copies of it.
Right.
But it's definitely like it's a pretty high grade. I don't know if there's definitely higher grades of that book, but there's not a ton of those books. That's for sure. That are great.
Imagine. Matt in Clemson is in the house. Has finally made it in here. Better late than never. Absolutely. How's everybody doing? What's going on, Matt? Thanks for coming, hanging out with us. Appreciate you. And Renegade Rants Comics. Hi guys, I'm late. Stupid work. Hey, same.
It happens. It happens.
Appreciate you though, man. Appreciate you coming hanging out. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm down to my two prize books My baby.
Prized possessions.
Yeah, my babies. First off,
Holy crap!
it's my favorite book. Even now, this is still my favorite book
I imagine so.
because it's the first appearance of my guy,
Right.
Colossus. I love this book. I absolutely love it. One that I'll probably try to upgrade to a 7.5 at some point. But that doesn't mean I don't love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love this book. And it was like the first big book I bought. Obviously it's not on the echelon of like those early first silver books, but it's one of the big bronze keys in Marvel. So and it was definitely a big purchase. So
Yeah, I would
definitely was a big accomplishment to grab this last year.
absolutely. I mean, that like it's not only Colossus, but it's first appearance of Nightcrawler, first appearance of Storm. I feel like there's somebody else. Is there somebody else, or is that it?
The big three is Storm, Colossus, and Nightcrawler, but it's also the first Thunderbird, who gets killed like 2 issues later.
Is it Thunderbird there?
Yeah, so that's Thunderbird right there. It's also the second full appearance of Wolverine. Yeah, second full. But we don't have to go into that argument. So it's his third appearance, really, what it is.
I feel like Thunderbolt. What's his name? Thunderbird. I feel like Thunderbird slash. I know him as Warpath, and it's like it's more his brother because that's a tragic story.
Warpath is his brother, or I think it's his brother.
Yeah,
but they're essentially the same character.
Right. He took up the mantle of Thunderbird, but then changed to Warpath, and I believe it's New Mutants.
Yeah,
towards the end of that.
He debuted in New Mutants. That's where, his first appearance is and stuff. Yeah.
I feel like he's underrated. I don't like it.
Well, Thunderbird's underrated because he lasted like 3 issues.
Right.
Warpath is more significant, but he came much later, right? So it's not,
right. Yeah.
He's not as iconic. I get it. So this is the big one. This is the first live stream I'm showing this off on. My video dropped literally yesterday. This is the big one. This is the big get. This is
holy crap.
Yes.
What I've been hunting, what I've been saving for. And it's pretty exciting to have it.
No, that's a freaking amazing book. Amazing book. Congratulations, dude.
GG.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's and I mean, like we were talking about it before, but it presents incredibly. Like that's a 1/8.
Right.
I'm looking at it on the screen and I'm like, what the heck how is that a 1/8? Like this looks so much better in person. Even on this stream, it looks better than the picture I saw of it on IG when I bought it. And I'm glad I could tell that it was a bad picture as opposed to not looking as good as it does. And I did ask for extra photos, so I was confident that it looked good. But yeah, just thank you to everybody with the congrats.
Right.
It was awesome. So I think like the big dings on this book is that corner chunk is gone and that bottom chunk is gone. But I mean, who cares? I mean, if that
I was gonna say
that's why it's a 1/8. Like it does have like some tears on the spine, like typical Silver Age stuff, but like
right.
I don't know. It makes me think like, is this a 1/8? Do I want to try it again? I don't know. I don't know. It's so scary to do it, just leave it be. But it does make me think.
I I think it's a solid 1/8.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just being honest, just because of the pieces that are missing on the back. Like that's
Again, I it's just these are the thoughts. These are the bad thoughts, man. Those bad thoughts.
But no, I'm with you because like I know you're a CGC guy as well, and you even spoke on that in the video, which I highly encourage all of y'all to go and check out this video if you've not seen it. The opening alone, you've got to freaking see it. You've got to watch it. It's amazing. So, but like when you were talking about it, you were like, I know it's a CBCS, but like, should I put it in a CGC or not? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man. So I'm right there with you because like I don't even know that I would necessarily like trust CGC to sit there and like crack it out, not damage it,
Oh, I wouldn't.
press it or whatever.
I wouldn't put that through them. Hell no. Hell no. Dude, if I would send if I'm gonna send that down, I'm sending it to Jeff at Comic Spa. He's gonna do his magic,
Yes.
and then even then, I may not even let him send it down. I might like take a flight down there and like drop it off and then stay there until they give it to me. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see.
Honestly, I'd break it out of CBCS slab and put it in something UV protective.
I'm not in a rush right now.
Yeah.
And like it's pretty I don't really get any UV much of anything down here, so
Yeah.
it's in good shape, but yeah, long term I'll have to think about it. But yeah, we'll see. For the time being, it's fine.
So, you know, you got the giant size, which I think was like one of your biggest grails because it's got your favorite character's first appearance in there.
That's my
And now
grail.
you have
Yeah.
do what now?
That's my grail of grails, I always call it, because
Okay.
it's my favorite book. Yeah.
And now you've sat there and you've gotten, you know, X-Men #1, like the first appearance of what we know today as the mutants. Like I know Namor is essentially a mutant, he was Golden Age, but like
Yeah.
X-Men really set it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how does that, you being an X-Men fan, like how does that feel? Like does it feel surreal to you? Does it feel like you've actually completed and accomplished something?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm in some ways it hasn't really sunk in, but like in other ways, like I don't know, it's hard to think of getting a book as like the greatest accomplishment of life either. You know, like I'm very excited about it. I love having it. I feel fulfilled that I've got it, and it's really fun that I've got it, and it makes my collection feel that much more special for sure. But I mean, I'm always ready to chase something else, and I'm just gonna enjoy it now. And my X-Men run is 10 books away from completion, at least the 1 to 300 portion.
Nice.
I could decide, I probably will, let's be honest, to go all the way with X-Men, but that'll be like an different in like just a long-term easy chase, because like, you're chasing like modern books and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always more. There's always like tons of Silver Age, big keys, like, so I'm excited to have it. I love it. You know, I do have moments where it's like, oh wow, man, I got that book. Like that's pretty awesome. But it also doesn't feel like I won Olympic gold or anything like that.
Did it feel better to get the giant size X-Men or the X-Men 1?
I'll say the X-Men 1 because it was it was harder to get, and it was longer drawn out than the giant size. The giant size was just kind of like, I just bought it. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really like, it didn't become like this like year long, like I'm selling books to get my money, and like I paid for that X-Men 1 purely out of like hobby and hobby adjacent funds. Like I did not use
Nice.
my own personal finances. I mean, in a way, I guess I did, but like it came out of stuff I already had. It came out
Yeah.
of things I resold. It came out of a few little like odd job things that I did to specifically put the money into that kitty. Um, so that was rewarding too, was buying the book purely like that. The biggest book I've ever bought, and it didn't even come out of like my paycheck essentially.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
was I felt accomplished from that as well.
Do you think there's a difference between being like what some people call a quote unquote dirty flipper and like essentially cleaning out your collection or moving on from certain other books?
I think it's the cycle of collecting. Like people, you're just moving on from stuff you have, you're reselling, you're putting it into more stuff that you're buying. I don't really subscribe to the dirty flip thing like at all. Like if you
Yeah.
buy something and you can make a profit on it, like go for it, man. As long as it's not like dishonest, you know what I mean? Like,
Got you.
like if you got a really great deal on something and then you decided it's more worthwhile for me and my collection or my to flip it for a extra couple hundred on eBay or something like that, then yeah, go for it, man. It's capitalism, man. It's
Right.
economics. It's just what we do. I just don't like when it's kind of deceptive or it's done in like poor taste. Then it's different. But
Yeah.
I think if we're all just out here doing our thing, flipping, that's how you fund your hobby. It's how you can afford the books you get. Like all the power to you. All the power to you.
Yeah. Do you think that you I don't want to take too much away from the video. I want people to go out and watch this video because, like I said, the intro alone is worth seeing, and just your excitement, your face, you seeing it, opening it, like it's freaking something to watch. But you mentioned in there that you originally wanted to go for like a 4.5. Do you feel like you settled by getting a 1.8, or do you feel like you wish you had stuck with what your original intentions were?
Yeah. So yeah, my intentions, original intentions was I wanted something between a 1 and a 4, and my goal was to raise about like 7K, and then like see what I can find. But my goal always was just find a really nice presenting copy. That was my original goal. But then as the days and months and weeks go by, I sort of started getting in my head that I was gonna buy, because I thought I was gonna get to a point where I had enough money to get a 2.5, 3.35. But then it kind of slowed down, and there's just other life things that made me pause and think about it more. And I thought I was gonna push it off, but then this book came along, and it just made me think like, look, like you can afford this right now. It looks great. And then
It
you
does
have
look
it. You
great.
have an X-Men 1 in your collection. And here's the thing. In terms of settling, I guess I probably settled a little bit, but I don't feel like bad about that because I have it now and I can always flip it, or as like if I want to upgrade, I can always sell it, and then whatever else money I need on top of it, go out and buy my next thing. Like
Yeah.
it's still my X-Men 1 fund, but in the form of an X-Men 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now, like let's say I save another like 2 or 3 thousand. I'm not saying I'm gonna do this, but like I save another 2 or 3 thousand. I'm like, and then I see a post for a 3.5 that looks amazing. I could be like, let's buy that, and I'll sell the X-Men 1.8. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm pretty happy with what I got, but like eventually, I could decide to do that.
Right. Well, like you said with other books that you had in your collection, where you're like, I want all these to be a 7.5 or better. Like, so there was other books in your collection that you'd already mentioned of upgrading. So yeah,
Ultimately,
yeah,
your collection is money in a different form, right? So if you decide
right,
you want something else more than what you want, those things, then you go off and you turn that into real money, and then you go get your next thing, right? Like, um, it's just a matter of what you want to do, right? You can
right.
use books to upgrade, to flip, to buy something else, move into a new hobby. Like I see that, I've seen that a lot too. Like since I got into comics, like people who had other hobbies, they were like big card collectors. They sell off all their cards and then they move into comics, right? Like you, it's all money really at the end of the day, but in a more enjoyable form, right? To you, right?
Right, right. Well, that's like a mutual friend of ours, Mon Comics, Brandon. He
That's
came
exactly what
from,
I was thinking of, or one of the people I was thinking of. Yeah,
yeah, he came from action figures.
yep.
From the Star
And
Wars
magic,
action figures and
and
magic
magic.
cards. Yeah, yeah, and came into comic books. So, but he depleted. It seems like, anyways, he depleted his collection to do that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, and my friend Rohan from Absolute Gaming Nerds, when he got into the collecting hobby, he also was collecting big Marvel cards as well. And then he just kind of came to a point where he sort of wanted to just really go after big Grail books, and he's sold off all those cards that he bought, and that's helped fund getting like an FF5 and like big an X-Men 1, like big books for his collection, right?
nice.
It's just reallocating funds to something new, right?
The bad part about that is, and you mentioned something about this earlier, and I know it may be somewhat of a sore subject, but like buying books, 2020,
Yep.
2021, big books like that, like they don't necessarily have the buying power they used to have. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
But
Yep.
I do feel like we're starting to level off, though, where like we can kind of start, steadily growing back to where the market should be, at least in the comic book collecting area.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, totally. I that is definitely the it the value can drop on these things. So and I think we've all experienced that
yeah.
because if you've been in the hobby for more than 2 years, you definitely bought books when it was going bonkers, and um you got burned on some stuff. Like that's when I mean, I didn't come in at the height of things, but I came in 2022, early 2022, and it was pretty hot, man. Like there, I bought some books that did not hold the value. Like, but luckily, that first year I bought a lot of books. I spent a lot of money and lost, I guess, in a sense, a lot of money. But I didn't buy any of the big books that I
Yeah.
have in that first year. So I look at it like, at least I didn't do that. Like my that first Thanos, that GSX, some other big books that I bought all was last year. And then my X-Men one this year, right? So when it's down, or relatively down. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the
hopefully
X
in
Men
the
one's even trickier because of like the speculation of the X-Men coming to the MCU, which I feel like has a lot of influence on the market on those Marvel books. So it's kind of like in that like in between zone of like we're outside of the 2020 21 area, but like we're also, we're one word away from from that book like somewhat taking off.
we're one rumor away from another Dazzler, is what
Right.
you're saying, and yeah, I mean that's a possible. I mean, I think speculation isn't quite what it was a few years ago.
Correct. Yes.
There's a lot less, you know, dumb people. Apparent, pardon, not to call anybody bad names or anything, but I don't know who was buying Dazzler like when that popped off. Like I just don't even understand. Like not educated people in the hobby, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, like that's there's always potential for sure that once they reveal the X-Men are coming, that the X-Men books pop off, like
Right.
I might even sell some, because that's the market, right? And
Yeah.
I don't, people want to buy, like they want it because they want it, right? So it's, as long as you're not like ripping them off like crazy and you're selling at market value, it's market value. That's the way economics work, right? So
Right.
there's the demand for something, you could sell it, right? So I think
I'm with you.
that's all good.
Is there a book in your collection that you look at today and you're like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I freaking bought that. I hate that I bought that.
There's a few that I like. Oh man, that one, I took a bath on that. But nothing really really bothers me. Like I just look
Okay.
at that, like I look at that time as it was exciting, and it was, I wanted the books, like it's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me, like it really doesn't. But yeah, I definitely have a few books that I'm like, oh wow, that's that book's gone down. Like I have some X-Men books. Like I have like the first Weapon Alpha and the first Alpha Flight book, like 120 and 109. I spent a bucket load of money on those books. They are not what they used to be like at all. Yeah, definitely. But like again, I don't try to think about that stuff, because like I've also lost a lot of money gambling or making stupid choices
Yeah.
in life, and it's like, what am I going to live in regret all my life? Whatever. It was
Right.
the time. It was the time I spent money on it, and like it's like thinking back now, like if you bought a car during the pandemic, a used car for like a crazy amount of money,
Yeah.
at least you got the car, you got to drive around in it. It's a
Right.
depreciating asset. Like these books, you never know. If I hold on to them 15 years, 20 years, it might pop off again, and then I'm selling it for more. Like who knows? I'm not going
Right.
to sleep over it. I just enjoy. As long as you enjoy having them, then it doesn't keep me up. Like I said.
Which leads me to Hyper Combo Comics. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. He says, congratulations, by the way, fellow Canadian right there. And he says, as long as the slab brings us you joy, that's what matters. My Hulk 181 is a 3.0, and that is the one of my most cherished books. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, Ryan, do you have any other books you want to show off, or is that what we're finishing off with? Was X-Men 1?
Yeah, I think we gotta finish off on this. Hey, look, it's Eric Larson, Venom. No offense to Eric Larson, but
Oh, your collection is freaking amazing, dude. Like your back wall is just off the chain. I love it. I freaking love watching your videos and seeing that stuff in the back wall. So
got a bunch of holes in it now, though. I gotta put all my books.
gotta replace them.
Yeah. I've already
Fun stuff.
It's kind of crazy how many books I've sold this year. Put money into that pot, but I don't regret it. I honestly don't regret it at all.
That's what I was going to ask. Are there any you regret selling?
No, not really. Honestly, there's only a handful I can even remember selling, to be honest. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I didn't have to sell any like really hard ones. I was starting to think about it. Like I have a Ghost Rider 1 back there that I really like. But but it's not a 7.5. So I was thinking, well, I'm gonna sell it anyways, so might as well put it towards X-Men. But I didn't end up doing it, so now I could at least hold on to it until I decide to actually upgrade it. But yeah, it's I'm good now that I have the X-Men 1. It's it's all worth it.
So now that brings me to two questions. Is that does first of all did you hesitate on the Ghost Rider because of potential spec with that, where it was like if a name was brought up that would be a higher valued book and I'd be able to get something big, more money at that time?
No,
Okay.
I just paused because I like looking at it on my shelf.
Yeah.
It's a cool book, cool cover.
Nice.
Again, another character that I like. I don't know why, but I just kind of like Ghost Rider. I have like the first Midnight Sun books in 98, and then I have Ghost Rider 1. I really want a Marvel Spotlight 5. Like that's another big book I really, really want. And again, I don't know why. I just cool. He's cool looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to have like the best statues.
Right?
Like the statues of Ghost Rider with all the fire. They're so sick. Like they're just
Yes.
There's there's two that I always think of. I don't know which studio did them, if it was XM or it probably was XM, but it could have been Sideshow or something. But there's one of him on a bike, and then there's another one on a horse. And like the paintwork on the fire is just like incredible. And it lights up and stuff. Like that's if I had the space, that's an expensive hobby I could get into big time, because I really like statues. I just don't have the space, but I do have a few on the way. My first couple real statues, but then I can't get any more because I just don't know where I would put them.
Yeah, you'll find space.
I honestly don't even know where I'm putting them now. Like the ones that I'm coming, they're just gonna be like here, and I'm gonna be like, well, we need to take this space.
Well, so another question I had was, getting a big book like that X-Men 1, does it make like the books that you sold like seem like more obtainable? Like, I got these once. Oh, now I have this big book. Like, I could so get those again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they were all $100, like in the $100 to $1,000 range. Like, I feel like, I mean, that's not chump change, but it's like,
right.
You're talking about a 4K book versus a $200, $300 book. It's a lot different, but yeah, totally. But they add up, man. It's amazing.
Right.
They add up. Like, I have a lot of books that if I consolidated my collection and went down like the road of like purely just like huge grail books, like I could get a few with the books I got. But I'm, like I said off the top, I want it all.
Comic collector coach says statues are an itch that is never really scratched to satisfaction. I can see that. Ghost Rider is my addiction. So the Ghost, like Robbie Reyes is my guy, and like it's because of the damn car. And so like there's a Hasbro action figure.
First appearance though, I hate
you what?
I hate his first appearance. I just
why?
I hate the art. Like, I do not like the art.
Oh. I actually do like it.
That's okay. It's like art's subjective, right? But
right.
Yeah, never really, like, I'm just more a classic guy, right? Like
right.
I
was kind of surprised to hear you say you had a pull list. I was like, holy shit, he's getting into modern books now. Like,
I'm a real collector now. I'm a real comic guy now.
I didn't say that.
No, I just say like that's Pinocchio.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But yeah, there's one where it's like a Hasbro, like Robbie Reyes, and it's his car, and there's flames, and I'm just like, I want this freaking $300 toy so bad.
The car's cool for sure. I definitely like that, but it's a cool take on it. I just don't love his skull, like the skull design.
His skull is different. It's pretty odd. Yeah. No, I
actually thought he looked cool. He looked cool. I didn't watch the show much, but I've seen clips of him in Agents of Shield, and I thought he looked pretty cool in that in live action.
I hope they bring him back. I really do.
We'll see.
Hyper says,
I hope they give us a Ghost Rider in the MCU. Like, that'd be really cool.
Oh, I think we're one announcement away. Like
eventually,
yeah. I don't know if we got to get through Secret Wars first, but like
I think we do. I think a lot of these characters are going to come after. Like, even they just announced the Blade movies now. Like,
push back,
permanent hiatus. Like, I think they're pushing that to come afterwards, and then they're going to kind of build a whole new universe from scratch. They'll still have some carryover, but
right,
it'll be
soft reboot,
somewhat new in some way.
Yeah. The hunt is what keeps us going. The whole expect the unexpected when digging through is what keeps the hobby fresh for me. That's 100%. That is 100% on that. I'm with that. Midnight Suns, a video game, is the best. Robbie looked. All right, I didn't realize he was in that game. So that game put me off a little bit.
I only played. Yeah, I couldn't stick with it either, just because I didn't really love the format. I'm a little bit more of a like Assassin's Creed kind of like, I don't know what that's called. Yes. What is that called? Like a MMO? What is that? An MMORPG? I'm not a big video game guy, so
same.
Yeah, I got like a couple games I really like, and that's pretty much it.
I love Assassin's Creed. That's one of my favorites, but I have no idea what it's called. I just like getting behind the controller and playing every now and then. Like it's a fun game. Game.
Sure.
Black Spider's in the house. What's going on, homie? Appreciate you coming out. Thank you, sir.
I like that Warlock.
Right?
Yeah. I got
that
there too. 9-0. I love that book.
It's above 7.5, so he's keeping it.
Bingo.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for coming out. I greatly appreciate this. This was freaking a blast. I'll have to have you back on. We'll have to talk about all your stuff again. Like, awesome stuff. I want to talk to you about my next guest, though, that I'm going to have on. So, of course, we've got you. And this was freaking great. I got to figure out what I'm doing here, because I have no idea what I'm doing, like, at all now. So let's do it like there. Oh, look at that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Of course and thank you so much again for coming on. I appreciate you very much. I need to know, though, do you know this next guy that's coming up? Dan's Uncanny X.
My guy right there. That's my guy.
Right?
Let me just say one quick thing about him. He's the best. Besides being the best, he's my first comic friend. He's the first guy I talked to on Instagram when I got in the hobby. Obviously, like-minded X-Men fans, and obviously also a staple on my show or on my channel. He's my co-host on X-Men Collector Chat and part of the Council of X. And I love that guy. Anyways, great guest. I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah, so I got to thinking about it, and I was like, who would be a good follow-up with you, with Ryan, the Colossus Collector? And I was like, let's see if Dan will come on. Let's the one guy that doesn't have a YouTube channel, who everybody's like, get a YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm super excited to have him on. Huge X-Men collector, so we'll be talking about some more X-Men next time around. But I'm super excited about it. I love him. I love his personality. I love his enthusiasm about comic books and stuff like that. So I'm so excited to see what he has to bring here 2 Thursdays from now. Same time, y'all, same channel for Collecting Uncensored. Dan's X-Men collect was it X-Men Comics? X-Men what?
Dan's
Uncanny
X-Men Comics. Yeah.
Yes, Dan's X-Men Comics. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, that's what I've got coming up. But Ryan, what do you got coming up? What's coming up on your channel? I know you're super busy this week, dude. Like super busy. So what do you got coming up?
Yeah, it's funny, when it rains it pours. I was on where was I last week? I can't remember where I was on. I was on with holy crap, I'm blanking now. I was on another channel last week I was on with shoot.
You're on with Vaughn, Brandon.
Right now. I'm on with Brandon on Saturday. That's this Saturday for his Halloween spectacular event.
Yeah.
That's with Brandon on Comics. So that's my next thing. That's my next gig. And then I got nothing upcoming imminent on my channel, but I will say I am going to be starting a new live stream show. I haven't nailed down quite the time. It's probably going to be the second week in November for the first episode, but I don't have like a set date or night. I'm thinking about that, whether I want a set date or if I just kind of keep it loose like I do with my other shows.
Yeah.
But it's called Colossus Spotlight On. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart now. Colossus Spotlight On. And every week on will be followed by a different topic, a different person, whatever. It's basically a show that allows me to branch out from my usual X-Men stuff and just talk about anything, whether it's a title, character, people, a topic, anything goes. And it just will allow me to have more people from the community on, get to know more people, kind of just expand a little bit outside of out of just doing X-Men content, which I've been doing with my lives over the last year. So my first episode's going to be Colossus Spotlight on original art. And I'm going to have a handful of original art collectors on with me for that episode, including West Coast Avengers, Dave from there, and a few other guys that have really great OA collections. And we're just going to talk about collecting the ins and outs of that adjacent comic hobby, just learn about it a little bit more because it's something I'm interested in but haven't really dived into in a deep way. And I just want to really cool stuff. I have one guy on that coming on that I just recently found on Instagram who has like an incredible X-Men original art collection. So he's going to be on there, but all three have like really awesome eclectic original art, not even just Marvel, all over the place. So it'll be a really good show. So that'll probably be second week in November. Keep an eye out. I'll announce all that fun stuff on IG, but that's coming up on my channel.
Awesome. Cool. That sounds really cool. I'm excited about that. That's cool. Well, again, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I believe I put his Ryan Colossus Collector, his YouTube link and his IG link down in the description below. So please go and check him out. Go sub him up. Go follow him. Go do all things. Go show him some love. And hey, I appreciate all y'all coming out and hanging out with us this evening. And y'all have a great weekend. And we will talk to y'all next time. As always, y'all have a good one.